This is Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments with Shelby Joe Long, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Shelby Joe Long.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Shelby Joe Long. I am Senior Vice President of the Strategic Advisor Board and CEO of Business Dynamics. And here today on the podcast, I have the opportunity to speak with a few experts that have their own businesses, but they have this joint effort and they're coming out with this program this fall that's just going to transform wellness in coaching. So I'm excited today to welcome Cara Cocchiarella and Camille Adana to the interview. And I will ask them both to introduce themselves and then we'll get into the discussion. So Camille, go ahead and begin.
Hi, I'm Camille Adana and I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm an author of the book Motivate from Within. And that's what kind of created the opportunity to work with Cara, who you will soon meet. And I am the creator of Adana Dynamics. And that's my own life coaching business outside of being a high school teacher, coach, author of Winning Well, and here today to share our program that we're about to release.
Thanks. My name is Cara Cocchiarella, and I am a professor in health and PE at Clark College. I also live in Portland, Oregon. I have spent my professional career teaching and coaching, and have a doctorate in educational leadership. So I kind of combined all of those different areas to start a consulting business, Win-Win Consulting, where I do coach education, coach development. And one of my priorities in life is that I don't let my job define me. I also am very social and I like to spend the day, nothing better than the day on the lake with friends and family. So that's who I am. And yeah, co-author of Winning Well, Maximizing Coach and Athlete Wellness with my friend Camille here.
Yes.
Well, thank you both for coming on the interview today. I know that there's much better things that we want to be doing on a Sunday afternoon when it's nice outside, but it was good to get to know you and a little bit about your business as you have your program coming out this fall. But, I want to talk a little bit first about kind of your background and your history. You're both college athletes. I want to hear a little bit about that and your coaching. But, it's pretty amazing to me that you both are going forward with this project when we're teachers, you have so many other things, coaches, teachers, you have so many other things going on, but there's some inspiration that helped you transform into wanting to impact more people. So let's hear a little bit more about your background.
Yeah. So I would say, what has inspired this project and inspired us to do this work is a shared passion that we have for coaching and sports and making a difference in others' lives and doing that in a way that's inclusive and holistic, as people who both health educators, people who teach wellness every day and work often in that coaching space as well. It's a pretty natural fit for us to be talking about this, I would say. As this connects to my business, Win-Win Consulting, I help coaches of all sports at all different levels to do their work more efficiently and effectively. And how that looks for each individual is different for each group that I work with. I sometimes am working with an individual coach and doing mentoring, and sometimes working with an entire staff and trying to help them keep, move toward their goals as a staff and work together well. Occasionally, I'll also work with entire organizations and again, doing maybe coach education for them. So there are a lot of different ways that I work with coaches, and this project is just another way to do that and to reach a broader audience. And maybe we'll have the opportunity to be in front of the people who go through our program personally at some point and to do deeper work with them. But if not, we're hoping to just reach as many coaches as we can, help them out as much as we can with this online course that we are creating, the playbook for coaching with wellness.
Definitely. Yeah. I grew up in a very kind of dysfunctional environment as a child. And I had this park in the neighborhood that I played sports in every single day. And so when I was away from the home and I found this consistent movement and this like wellness dynamic at the park. And I grew up striving to want to be an athlete and play college sports. And I did it. And I was the first one in my family to graduate from high school, went to college, played college basketball, softball, and then ended up becoming a teacher at the age of 21. And then 15, 16 years later, she landed in the high school out of nowhere from Montana, some random teacher and coach. And it was just so cool because I never had a common kind of understanding with someone before about wellness. So we kind of found a way to make this happen. And it's been so fun. We wrote this book together, Winning Well. It's out there. So excited to get the feedback eventually. And then now we're creating this program. So that's my background, really, just loving wellness and wanting to do it with a friend that understands why it's so important for the world and coaches and athletes.
Absolutely. And I think, and we'll talk a little bit more about the book, but there's so many, talk about inclusion, because that's a big piece that you all bring to the wellness circle, which I think is so important, but also just the awareness of wellness. And, so much of our life, as this interview happens over Zoom, so much of our life transition to being sedentary, and how important it is to think about our wellness and to think about the holistic, our whole lives rather than just our work, and to, all of that, all of those things just tying together. And it's always relevant, but it's particularly relevant post-pandemic and particularly in this world where we're talking about inclusion and all that. So let's dig a little bit more into this playbook for coaching with wellness. And we've talked a little bit about the book when you co-authored the book. So let's talk about the program and the whole concept behind the program and how that can help fit into current coaches' lives.
Yeah. So one of the first things I would say about all of this work, the book, the course, the work that we do every day, is that wellness is this topic that comes up over and over. And often there's not a great understanding of what that means and what all it entails. Everybody wants wellness. I think most people know that's something that they want, but often we don't know what that means or how to implement something that might support our wellness or the wellness of others. So the book and the course are built on a wellness framework that's really very well accepted in the world of health education. And it's a multidimensional model. There are 8 different dimensions, and it goes well beyond the physical. Physical wellness is often what we think of when we think of wellness. And so it's a holistic model. It involves different aspects of our lives: social, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, environmental, financial, occupational. All of those things, they all contribute to our overall wellness. And so when we look at wellness, we've got this really complex, kind of nebulous thing, which makes it hard to talk about, but also is what makes it so cool to talk about and to work with, because everybody can personalize it. You can make it your own based on your own needs and strengths and weaknesses and priorities. And so we've got this whole concept of wellness. And what we did for the course was we took our book, which goes into all of the dimensions real specifically, and also addresses inclusion quite a bit, because being inclusive with wellness is really important, and we can talk about that. But it takes this whole big concept of wellness, and we really streamlined it into 3 different aspects: body, mind, and culture. And we're taking also the sports angle and looking at this through a coaching lens and talking about what might the specific needs be for coaches to support their own wellness, but also for coaches to consider how they would support athlete wellness and in an inclusive manner.
Mhm.
And so we've got body, mind, culture, wellness that we talk to coaches about. And then we walk them through some steps to be able to come up with a really concrete plan for supporting their own wellness and for supporting wellness in athletes.
Yeah, I think I just want to add that coaches can get really into a very cyclical process and approach every single day. And I think what we're trying to do is make coaching so fun. Like instead of being that same person over the years, maybe we can tweak it a little bit as coaches to feel better in our own bodies, to feel more balanced, and then transfer that over to the athletes. And I think that's what our program is really trying to do. And also to continue education, get it out there and get you more amped up to make an impact, especially when it comes to the body, mind, and your culture that you're building. Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially if you're being a coach for so long. You both have
Yes.
been in the coaching space for
Yes.
so long. So there needs to be some inspiration to continue to be innovative, to be creative. And I think that's a really important space to be in. While you were giving that description, I thought, another program idea for you all is to do wellness with entrepreneurs. And I mean, you are entrepreneurs in your own space, but you focus on wellness within a certain sector, but wellness is so holistic and so important for everybody to achieve that balance and to be able to be present for themselves, but also be present with the people that they work with and the people they influence. So.
Thank you. I do think it's applicable to all, really. I think if anyone read Winning Well or actually purchased this program, it could carry over into many different factors and businesses and corporations and educational institutions, et cetera. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Shelby. Yeah.
We've talked about that a lot. The fact that this material is applicable to all individuals, but all leaders in any realm. And it's funny, we get so siloed in society, right? Like, but this is a business book, or I own a business, so I'm only going to read business books. Well, the people in sports are competing and trying to do their best and trying to win at all times, which really is the same thing that people are doing in business, and there's a lot of crossover, and we want to make the biggest impact we can in our classrooms, for instance, much like people want to do in their own families. And so there are all these overlapping aspects of society. And we happen to be talking about this through a sports coaching lens, but it really is just being human, taking care of yourself as a human and caring about the humans that you work with. Yeah. And definitely that applies across all sorts of different arenas.
Absolutely. You'll make a big impact in the athletic coaches, but I don't know. I see so much influence in business too. So, because there's a lot.
I would like more people to be impacted so I can have these conversations with more people than just Cara. No, because it really is. It's really not a common kind of conversation, and like I think she said it earlier, but body is always the focus in sports. Body. And it's like, there's a whole person there that you're dealing with, and that includes you as a coach. So yeah, I would just like more people to be informed so that we can have this dialogue anywhere, all the time.
Anywhere.
Yes.
Well,
you can tell we're passionate about it.
Absolutely. And having worked with you in a couple months I've understood that passion, and I think that's awesome. So I think we need more of that in society. More working towards a balance, and we're not just our careers, and we need to focus on us and self-care as well as everything else. And then that makes us a better person. So
yeah, the digital age has made things a little complicated too, right? Sure. We're very focused on what it is we do all the time and how can we make it the most efficient and do. And at that same time, we're living. And so ideally, what we're hoping to help coaches do is make not just their coaching more fulfilling, but their lives more fulfilling. And because the time goes by regardless. And, hopefully we can manage the activities we engage in every day to be the best they can be for us and for others. And so that's the focus. It really is a very just humanistic approach to leadership.
Right. And all the listeners out there can resonate with all of those ideas. Business owners, CEOs, leaders. Yes, we have to have that kind of balance so we can live the life that we want to live. It's great to be an entrepreneur and do all of our own things, but we tend to get in the tunnel vision, and then we just do and do and do and don't think about what's on the outside. So that's an important reminder for not only coaches, but for everybody to remember.
Totally. And the better we take care of ourselves, the better we tend to be at the work that we're doing too.
Absolutely.
And better partners and better friends and better, a better parent. So it's all relevant. I mean, we could talk about horror stories, but we won't. I mean, we've seen people fall apart, because they're not taking care of themselves. And so, yeah.
So better to
..
It's very preventative rather than responsive. So
yes, correct.
Yep. Proactive.
Yes. So we talked around this playbook for coaching with wellness. Let's talk a little bit more about it. When can we anticipate this product on the market?
Well, I'm thinking this fall, which is about a couple months away, and we're on it. We're in the process of releasing it very soon, and we're so excited. I want to see the final product, and just the process is fun, but it's ready. I'm ready to see it released as well. So
Yep.
Yeah.
And it'll have, within the course, we'll have quite a few videos, pretty short videos, just a few minutes of Camille and I talking about some content, some material, and really just trying to get the wheels spinning for people, because wellness is such an individualized thing. And we really need to be able to invest in it authentically in a way that's meaningful for each of us. And so we're trying to give coaches a lot of different ideas. We bring in a lot of different perspectives. So we have folks who will join us to talk about inclusion in short little videos as well, or coaches who will talk about the things that they do to support their own wellness. And we provide some examples of ourselves or others as athletes in relation to wellness. So there's a lot of kind of throwing ideas out there. Hopefully we can kind of wrap those all up with some solid discussion around some major concepts. But ideally the course is set up so that someone could go through it, take what's most meaningful to them, apply it to their lives. And then we've got some worksheets for people to work through that basically they leave with a couple game plans for supporting their own wellness and supporting wellness and athletes. So really want them to leave with something concrete that's meaningful to them. And in the process, we provide them some things to think about and a lot of different options to consider and hopefully be inspired by.
Yeah. And then after the fact, some post-game chats, we're going to have some huddles and get together with people, every month if they want to be a part of that process, and have great dialogue with people that are in the same field, which is going to be fun. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's been really, really exciting to see all of this kind of come together, and it's going to launch and it's going to be really exciting. But I think that's Camille, you're looking for the good conversations. That's where those conversations are going to happen. And it's transformative. And it's really when people start digesting your material and start acting upon it, and to talk about that transformation it's really powerful. And I think it's an exciting space to be in as the two of you launch this particular part of your business. So,
and thank you, Shelby. You're one of those people that have really been a part of this process and helped us see the beauty in what we're trying to teach. So thank you.
Of course. Yeah. It's so exciting.
It really is. Yeah, I want to feel that. So we're excited for it to be released for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Get it out there.
You're in the dregs of it now, but it's not, the light is at the end of the tunnel. The hard stuff is done. Now it's just the putting everything in place. So
yeah. And hopefully we're building a network out there of coaches and leaders who are all, in this space. Leadership and any kind of leadership, coaching in particular, can feel really lonely a lot of times. And hopefully we're helping coaches to see they're not alone. They're not alone in their struggles and the challenges they face. And they're not alone in their efforts to do the best that they can. And hopefully, the book and the course and the huddles, like Camille mentioned, will be really helpful for people in those roles to know that they've got a team of people behind them supporting them.
Mhm.
And we're hoping to really bring people together in that way too.
Absolutely. My business partner, Jason Miller, who does the War Room podcast, we're in the same, this is all in the same podcast. He says that all the time. Being a CEO is lonely. It's isolating, and it's very similar to the coaches. And it's important to have that constant feedback and that constant dialogue.
Well, it's kind of a thankless profession, right? I mean, you're busting your glutes to make an impact on kids. You want the X's and O's to be perfect, but it's like just the support of knowing that what you're doing is good for kids. And I hope we can help people feel that vibe, you know? Yeah. And the cool thing about wellness is that it's so multifaceted that it's really motivating to be able to tap into any of those dynamics, just to kind of refresh on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for all that to come out. I'm excited for what's the next step in both of your careers. Can you tell our audience where they can find you and find the program when they want to seek out wellness advice?
Yes. Can we add one thing though, before we get to that?
Of course.
I think because I kind of tried to put a pin in talking about inclusion, and it's really important to us, and I don't want us to kind of gloss over it. I think one thing to keep in mind, and that we have really leaned on throughout the process of writing this book and building this program, is the idea of inclusion serving as the foundation of the work that we do, that it's intertwined in everything we do, and it's not just like a tack on or an add-on to all of our efforts. And so with wellness, what's cool about wellness is it is somewhat inherently inclusive in nature, because it's very personalized, it's very holistic. So it's looking at all of the different aspects of an individual, really valuing all of those different aspects as integral parts of their experience in life. And because of that, it allows people to really be who they are, and they need to bring their whole selves to everything that they do. And if we're investing in wellness sincerely and authentically, we're investing in those individuals as exactly who they are. And so the inclusion piece is a really big part of the work that we've been doing, like I said, with the book and the course. And it's something that inclusion sometimes can be that really kind of nebulous out there idea that we like it and we know we want it, but we don't necessarily know what it means or how it looks or anything else. And much like wellness, inclusion is an area in which we will all continue to grow and learn and evolve. And, we're making mistakes and hopefully making strides every day. So that piece of this work is really important too. So I just wanted to make sure we didn't just stick a pin in it and then avoid it, because that is often what happens, in particular with inclusion.
Around it, but we haven't talked about it. So yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So go ahead. How we get our book.
How to contact us.
Yes.
So the book, Winning Well, Maximizing Coach and Athlete Wellness, is available on Amazon, and it's also available through our publisher, Rowman and Littlefield. It is a part of a book series that's being put together by the United States Center for Coaching Excellence. So that's another way that you could find the book if you wanted or more information about it. I am easiest to contact through my business website, which is winwin-consulting.com. And Camille?
Yes. And then can be contacted at camille@adanadynamics.com personally. And then my 3 books are on Amazon, and this one's through Rowman and Littlefield, Winning Well, Maximizing Coach and Athlete Wellness. And then, you want to talk about playbook for coach?
Yeah. So the playbook for coaching with wellness, we have a website associated with that, coachingwithwellness.com. And we are available. One thing that we really want to get out there, we want to get our message out there. We would love for people to read the book and for it to help them in whatever way they need or would like. Same thing with the course. And we're always available either individually or as a duo here, to work with groups and to personalize whatever it is they might need for themselves or their coaches or their organization. And open to a lot of that, and just loving the work that we get to do now in this realm, and looking forward to any opportunities we have in the future.
Definitely.
Awesome. There's just to pay more respect to the inclusion. You two are one of the first to talk about wellness and inclusion all in the same space, and pioneering that conversation. It's such a relevant time to do that, and B, it's something that's so important for us to just think about, and how to, it should be something that we don't think about teaching a lesson on. It should be just underlying everything that we do. And having worked with you in the past few months, I feel like that underlies all of your work. And I think that's really important. And that is evident in the book. And it's also evident in the program and how things are put together. So two pioneers. And I think it's so important to talk about. And I'm excited to see what's next for the two of you. So any final thoughts before we leave the interview today?
Just happy to be with you and have your support and sharing us to the world. Thank you so much, Shelby.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure working with you and discovering more about your businesses. And I'm going to have you develop a wellness line for corporate. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's do
Bring
it.
it on.
Let's do it. We really do love this stuff and are excited about it. And as much as we kind of joke about getting tired of talking to each other about it, it's because it is such a passionate thing for us, and
Right.
such important area of our lives, and then working with others. And so being able to get it out there to anyone who is interested and or needs it, we feel very honored to be able to do that. So this is fun. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Shelby.
Thanks for chatting with us.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the podcast. And I look forward to speaking with the next experts that has transformed their expertise into a business and a bigger influence in society, but excited to check out Cara and Camille's work. And I'm excited to see their program in the fall. So thanks again. And I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to Culture, Communication, and Brand Moments with your host, Shelby Jo Long. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.